Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you to Leavenworth, Washington with me. This town was super cute and I actually went to Vail, Colorado back in January, and this town is what I thought Vail was going to be like. So we flew here from Chicago to the Seattle-Tacoma airport in Seattle, Washington. We got here pretty early in the morning because we took an early flight. I just like taking earlier flights and you get to the place earlier, all that stuff. But we went downtown for a little bit. Downtown Seattle was really nice. Honestly, the whole state was such a vibe. And I thought it was personally a lot more chill than Chicago is. Chicago is also really, really big and there's a lot to do. Seattle is more low key. Like we went to this public market that they had. There was a lot of cute little shops in here. And obviously Chicago has that kind of stuff too, but I don't know. To me, this just seemed like a smaller city vibe compared to Chicago. Not as intimidating. It wasn't as intimidating. The traffic wasn't too crazy. There wasn't people honking their horns at you trying to drive their little car and run you over, that kind of stuff. So I liked Seattle. I'm not sure that I loved it, but I really liked it. I always think like when I travel places, would I want to live here? And I'm not sure about Seattle. I mean, it was very cool, and we went to a couple of tourist attractions like this gum wall. I think this public market is pretty touristy too, but the gum wall literally is just a wall full of people's gum that they put on there. I thought it was cool. And this is an example of some of the shops they had, like little bookshops, flower shops, just like little souvenirs you could take home. There's the actual wall. It was actually kind of gross, but I thought it was cool because of like how much gum is on there. I don't know. It was just something to do. I also recorded this on my boyfriend's phone, which is why the lighting is so weird because mine died earlier, of course. So anyway, after we had breakfast in Seattle, we just headed straight to Leavenworth. I learned how to pronounce it. I kept saying it Levvenworth because my boyfriend again was saying it in a British accent and I just got it stuck in my head, but it's Leavenworth, Washington. It was about 2 hours from Seattle, so it was a bit of a drive. We did end up renting a car, and I do want to make this note. So we rented from Alamo, and we usually do rent from Alamo. I don't know why, we just picked it and we've stuck with it, and it's pretty affordable, I would say. But we almost rented with Fox Rent-A-Car, I think is the full name, and it seems like cheaper because it was like $200 on the site, but then if you look at the fine print, it's like a deposit of $650 or something. And keep in mind, we only needed it for 4 days, so that was just insane to me. So we went with Alamo. Just make sure that if you're renting from someplace and it looks too good to be true, read the fine print because never again. Anyway, so hopefully you guys are enjoying these views. It's actually like so beautiful in person. The phone doesn't even capture how pretty it is, but we were just driving there. We were listening to Crime Junkies, which is a podcast we really like. I would highly recommend it. It's like true crime, basically. So we arrived in Leavenworth. This is the town. The town was super, super cute. There's more videos of it later. Like, look at that. So beautiful, like so scenic, super cute, small town vibes. Literally, like, I'm going to compare it to Vail again because these are like the two towns that are, small towns that are all over TikTok. Vail is also sort of a small town, but it's bigger than this. It's a ski town and it's so much money. Like, it's very, very expensive. Here, very small town, restaurants, touristy things, a lot cheaper. It's not cheap, but it's a lot cheaper than Vail. And it's not a ski town either. It's just like you go and walk around and you eat. It's a Bavarian town, so like a German town. There's lots of pretzels, lots of beer and cheese and sausage. Like bratwurst was on every single menu. And you can kind of see the prices in there. I just wanted to include some of it. I'll go over the prices too at the end for you guys. But I was going to say I'm not really a huge bratwurst fan. The salad was really good. They put like chopped salad, like sausage and apples in there and stuff. But honestly, like there's other food you can get, but it's a lot of Oh, they also had the pretzels, right? I think I showed you that. But the pretzels were really good. I just am not really a huge bratwurst fan. So if you really like bratwurst, this is probably the place to go. But I was taking a lot of videos just of the scenery of the town itself. They had such cute little small detailed decorations that I really liked. They really kept up with the theme of it. A lot of people go here in Christmas time. They say it's really cute in Christmas time, and I can totally believe that. I also think it would be packed. The reason we went now, oh, there's that Alpine roller coaster. Apparently it's new. It's it's not like a real roller coaster. It's kind of slow, but it's like scenic. We were gonna go on it, but one of the bartenders told me that it was like $20 per person. And I don't know. It didn't really look that like cool enough to be worth $20, so we didn't end up going on it. Okay, and then this was the first hotel we stayed at. We are staying at 2 hotels on this trip. This is the first one. This is the Sleeping Lady Mountain Resort, which I also saw recommended on TikTok. It's basically like a cabin style resort. It's not really a resort, like a hotel. But this is the inside. I thought it was very nice, very clean, cozy, almost like quaint. They did have Nespresso pods, which was nice for coffee. There was no TV in this room though, so keep that in mind. It's very like peaceful, outdoorsy, quiet. It is a dog, like dogs can be here and kids, but when we went, it was pretty quiet, possibly because it was during the week, but the beds were comfortable. They gave us robes. The shower was decent. This is the outside, so it's like you each have your own little cabin. And then there's like chairs to sit in on the deck. It was really beautiful. Like the atmosphere was beautiful, like the trees and the walkways. So I would recommend this place. I thought it was nice to stay at. It's affordable. It's more affordable than the other place we stayed at. It's not cheap, but for 2 nights it was like $540, I think, maybe closer to $500. I'll confirm and go over again at the end though. And they had these little luggage carts that you could use. Like it was just cute little stuff like that. And they were probably like these pods of 4 houses. There were probably like 5 pods of those houses. So it was a decently sized place. You can kind of see very foresty. It sort of seems like a cult sort of vibe when you come in, but honestly it was very peaceful, very nice. I really wasn't scared or anything like that. This was the dog park that they had. They also had these little doggy bags, so definitely if you had a dog it would be pretty nice to be here. So yeah, I really liked it. They also had like a little den, a play area that had like board games and a pool table and a projector and stuff, like if you had kids. We didn't really use those things, but if you have kids and you want to come here, they also had a pool. I'll show that later as well. But it was just very peaceful. We had a nice time here. They have a little restaurant that's honestly a little bit pricey. We didn't go there, but they do have one on site. I think it maybe was a little bit misleading on TikTok, at least the pool. Whenever I go somewhere, I always like to look at the pool and the actual hotel room. On TikTok, the pool seemed nicer than it actually was, but it wasn't bad, but like there's the hot tub. Pool's gonna come around in a second, and it was just like, rocky is kind of, whatever. I wasn't very impressed by the pool, but like I said, I have very high standards for the pool and hotel rooms, so. And I will also say, as I saw the other hotels in the town, this was probably one of the cooler ones. The other hotels in the town were pretty basic, they were cute on the outside, but it was just, like a basic hotel room on the inside. Some of them had pools, but it was like indoor pools, nothing special, so compared to the other ones, this one was a pretty cool resort to stay at. My favorite is still the second hotel we went to, which is the Posthotel. I'll tell you guys now. I think I'm going to put it in the title anyway, but the Posthotel, like I said earlier, was the whole reason we were coming here. Like the only reason we came now was because about a month prior to this trip, I was looking online because we were like, we want to go on a trip. Like, it's been a little bit. We want to go on another trip. And I was like, well, what about Washington? And then the Posthotel has been on my bucket list ever since I saw it on TikTok 3 years ago. And it just looks so nice. It's like a spa hotel. See, this room is nice at night. And then we went to get breakfast too, which was decent. This was not a breakfast in the town though. This was a little bit out of town. Overall, the food was a little bit pricey, especially even for two people. Like, it was only two of us. I think if you had a family, this would really be a pricey trip, honestly. So then this day after we ate, we went on a hike, which I really wanted to do. And I actually really wanted to do the Kolchak Lake hike, which is like apparently a really popular hike that you do in this area. That was about an hour from Levvenworth, but we didn't really want to drive over there, and it's like an 8-mile hike. And honestly, you guys, I am not a professional. I'm also very out of shape still, despite going to the gym so often. Like, I am just not a good hiker at all. Like, my lungs just can't handle it. So we went on this local hike. It was probably like 10 minutes from downtown. It was still really nice. Very difficult. We didn't finish this one either. We probably made it 2 miles up, and then we headed back down because of me and my weak lungs. And I don't know why. I'm just like not a very good hiker at all. But the view was pretty. It was cool. You could see like over the town a little bit right there. And I'm glad we did it. It was, good exercise. It was fun. And just something to do, like there's really not that much else to do besides eat and walk around, go on hikes, horseback riding, you can swim around a little bit, but I really wouldn't want to stay here for more than we did. We were here 4 days, 3 nights. I think that was the perfect amount of time. Any longer than that, I feel like we would have gotten bored. We went to this restaurant, which is the Munchen Haus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. This was also a highly recommended restaurant. It was like an outdoor patio situation, really good. And then we got ice cream at this other popular ice cream place called Whistlepunk. The line was insane. It was good ice cream, but I think that the shop across the street had equally as good ice cream, so I don't really know. We just went there because it was so hyped up. I was also going to say earlier that we went to Rhein Haus when we first got here, and those pretzels were incredible. So I think I might recommend Rhein Haus over Munchen Haus. But yeah, like, see, these are some of the other hotels. Like, super cute, but on the inside, it's just pretty basic, I just really like the decor and, like, the Bavarian style, architecture, stuff like that. Like, really cutesy Germantown vibes. I don't know. I just thought it was really cute. And this restaurant we went to for breakfast, actually, one of the mornings, coffee and waffles. This place was pretty good. I got the Nutella strawberry waffles, like stuffed waffle. Really good. And they had other stuff too. They had like coffee and bagels and all that stuff. But going back downtown, so this downtown area honestly is not big at all. I've pretty much shown you all of it. There's Munchen Haus right there in the corner. And then Rhein Haus is a little bit up and to the left. But it was, super cute. I'm glad we went during the summer too, because during the winter, all this stuff is not going to be here. All the greenery and flowers and stuff. Like, when we went to Vail, it was, obviously in the winter time, it was around New Year's Eve, and it's just like a very different vibe in summer and winter, because in the winter, like, you're in your outdoor clothes, you don't really want to do anything, you just want to, in Vail, you're going to be want to be skiing and then like go back to your warm hotel room, right? So I'm glad we went here during the summer. I don't think I'd want to come here during the winter, just because there's a lot less to do. Here's us going horseback riding. Like, you wouldn't be able to do this in the winter, right? We also made sure to do a lot of activities. I like doing activities on vacation, especially if we're going somewhere cool. Like, beach vacation is a whole other thing. Like, you just want to sit on the beach mostly. But if you're going to, a cool island or Hawaii or Miami or something, like, you want to do stuff that's around the town too. Our last trip to Miami was pretty much, we just stayed at the hotel. But anyway, oh, here's the Posthotel. So this is a garage. You could park in their garage, which was nice. The inside was beautiful. This was probably the nicest. I'm going to say it probably was the nicest hotel I've ever stayed at. I was very impressed. It was like better than the TikTok videos I've seen. Like the room is beautiful and clean, super cozy, like super warm. I think this hotel would be cool in the winter just because it, it has a fireplace. It's super, super cozy. I would come back in the summer and spring though, because the pool, I'll show you guys the pool. The pool was cool to be outside when it was warm because the trees were rustling and like all the green stuff. We got this little outdoor terrace. So we were here for only one night because it's usually booked out all year, every single day. So you kind of have to wait until a random date pops up. And that's hard for most people because most people work and they can't just take a random day off, right? So we were lucky enough to get this one night, and that's literally why we came here. And I was like, I'll just book another one and we can just, have a spur of the moment trip to Leavenworth, and explore the town, because I did want to go see the town too. So yeah, look at the bathtub, beautiful. So relaxing. This is clearly a spa hotel. Very nice, very clean. The vibes were beautiful. They had music playing too. Like, I don't know. I was very, very impressed. They also give you that little bag to take out to the pool, and slippers and robes. The robes were very nice and soft. Usually hotel robes, they're kind of scratchy. They're not that impressive, but these ones were really nice. And I did pay extra for this little box. They didn't just give it to me, but I wasn't really sure what it was, and I just bought it because, to get the experience. But it's extra. It's an extra robe, so I took that home. And then these little bottles of body scrub, body wash, and lotion, I think. It's just extra stuff. I also took that home. So, I mean, you really don't need this because they have other soaps, and they give you the robes to walk around in there. Like, you just walk around in the hotel in your robe and slippers. It's so fun. But yeah, like, look at that view. The pool was just incredible. Okay, we'll come back to that, but we went out to eat. This was at, there we go, Stein House. Everything is like house, like Haus. And that food was actually really good. That was like a Asian salad and pork belly, I think. So delicious. This was a view from the Posthotel in the back, like the river. So beautiful. This was the lobby area. Another fireplace down here, like super cozy vibes. I loved it. And then you could get free coffee, tea, water. They had breakfast for free included with your stay. They also had lunch, including buffets, but you could also order stuff for breakfast and lunch. And that's included in your stay, so you don't have to pay extra for that. They do offer dinner as well. We didn't get dinner here, but that is not included, so you would have to pay for that. They did, though, have free dessert, and I want to tell you guys, if you go here, to get the ice cream, because the ice cream was incredible. The best ice cream I've ever had. It was like pistachio flavored. I don't even like pistachio, and it was delicious. I had 2 bowls. So good. I was shocked. All right, I got a little excited. My voice got a little bit louder. I'm sorry, but here's more of the pool area. Like, really so cool. The phone doesn't even capture like how beautiful and peaceful it was in here. So everyone was either hanging out here. This was actually in the morning because you're not supposed to film except in the morning. Just so you don't like film people walking around, It's supposed to be peaceful and nice. You don't want somebody filming you in the spa. But the indoor pool, outdoor pool, these were like little massager chairs that you could, it was like bubbles around them. And then that back there is where the rooms are. So there's the plunge pool. There were 2 cold plunge pools. That fountain in the middle you could fill up. They also give you water bottles. So you like fill up your water bottle there with, water, fruit water. There's some of the rooms. They had cool steam rooms. They had saunas. They had like this sauna to the left. You could lie down in one of the chairs. Or maybe, I think it's actually steam room. Sorry. I got them confused, but you could lie down in there and it was so nice, and it smelled like florally, super relaxing. I wish I could have filmed more of the rooms, but it was honestly very difficult to film. Like, there were people in there. I didn't want to be like a weirdo filming people. So I'm sure there's online stuff. And I also made a short vlog you guys can look at if you're interested. But highly, highly recommend that hotel, especially. But Leavenworth itself is so, so cute. I loved it so much.